We're going to create a classic tween and start by creating a new document, and we will just select action script 3, and we're going to do a shooting star and paint the star. So I'll turn the pen tool off so there's no outside line. We're just going to use the fill color. We're going to create a star and we're going to animate the star and make a what's called a classic tween. And so once we've drawn our star, we'll fill that with the color and we'll use the paint bucket tool to fill it. And then we're going to create a graphic symbol out of this. So select it and then go function F8. Now we're going to name that star, and by default usually it'll come up as movie clip. We're going to create a graphic, and now notice up in here the library is empty. When I go OK to create the symbol, it appears in the library. Now I could drag that out from the library once I've created this, and if there was animation in my symbol, then the animation would also play in the timeline if I had enough frames. So at the moment I've got a star, and if I double click the star and go into the star, you can see I'm actually editing the star now. Up here we've got the scene and I'm in the star. There's only one frame in the star. There's not a lot going on in the star. So to go back out onto the scene layer, I can click the scene there and I'm out here. So we're going to create an animation, and we're going to just simply animate this star and get it to move from one part of the stage to the other. So I'll move it up here, and I've just got one keyframe here, so I'm going to make more frames by going to the keyboard and going function F5 and clicking F5 a few times, and I'll just make about 8 frames. It's going to be pretty quick, and on that last frame I'm going to select that last frame, and then I'm going to go function F6, and that's going to make another keyframe out of the same object. But the information for this keyframe is location and all the properties, all the information. So it could also be the alpha level, how if it's opaque or you can see through it. There are a few things that you can key. We're keying location, so starts at the top right, ends up down there. Now that's great, but we want to fill in the gaps, and an easy way to do this with Flash is to go right mouse click on the timeline here and hit create classic tween, and it'll give you a little arrow indicating that all is well. And if all is not well, so if for some reason you had another object in that frame sitting around like this, then your arrow disappears. So that can mess things up a bit. And so now if I scrub the playhead, this is called scrubbing, we get to see our animation. And if I go command return, I get to see what would export from Flash if I were to export it as a SWIF. Now I could export that as a GIF, I could export that and display that on a website.